The shocking reception of an impeachment threat from Bumula Member of Parliament, Jack Uname, is telling the deeper story. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. My name is Kevin Oduor. If you're watching this video for the first time, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also watch our videos. Those who share, I want to say thank you. We try to make it deep and factual. In this episode, I want us to dissect leaders' reaction and what it tells on this matter of impeachment after I spent some time trying to dig deep from some key UDA operatives. And because I'm one person who was, my thought was that this is just another joke. If you just compare, try to look at Gachagua and an impeachment scare, we'll actually trash it. And to be honest, I initially dismissed it, that this is neither here nor there. And so I've been trying to speak to some of my few friends around on what exactly is going on. And I want to tell you what is behind the curtain. Yesterday, President William Ruto, look at this photo here. So this was William Ruto with Sakaja and Alice Wahome to inspect Glana Kulalo. And the message was very clear that I am supporting Sakaja. Sakaja have been having a very rough time, or rather a bitter fallout with Rigathi, with also political pundits saying that maybe that aspect of the fallout is William Ruto will successfully use Sakaja to send a message to Rigathi Gachagua. So this is something that was very intentional, that William Ruto wanted to communicate something. Let me just play for you a this clip on this impeachment.
Every time that man opens his mouth, you wonder whether he's the deputy president of Kenya, or he's the deputy president of the Kikuyu Republic. In fact, at some point, we will bring a motion. I will bring a motion in Parliament to impeach you, discuss your conduct and impeach you.
If you when you just listen to that a bit, you can make an observation that it looks a personal statement. And that's why initially I dismissed it, because it looks just like his own opinion. If you are keen, compare this with the statement that was once given by Fafi Member of Parliament, who once, when he was speaking about we are coming up with a motion to extend the term limit, we were talking about a nobody. Honestly, that MP was far from, and I remember Osoro coming out to dismiss, it was far from it. But it really caused the attention. So many I've personally, I saw the Bumula impeachment scare as just someone who is looking for the limelight. But this is so far what I have gathered from some UDA operatives, that when the same event that this MP was interviewed, there were other two Western UDA leaders. And when this speech, when he was making this statement, the UDA leaders were on the other side of the camera, but they never responded. And no one even called a presser on the same. So yesterday there was an attempt, and in fact, a host of Western caucus leaders were to call a press briefing to denounce that impeachment word as a voice of the Western leaders. And they even sent some media invites. They made some few calls to some few journalists. And even after making that, the plan changed last minute with indication that some members of parliament who are also holding key parliamentary seats were actually back in the village. That was number one. Number two was that press briefing to recall, or rather to denounce that impeachment, did not get the blessings of their patron, who is Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia Mudavadi was in Brazil, and I think he had not come back. So the press briefing by Western leaders to denounce the word by Bumula MP did not materialize. The chairman of the caucus is Waluke. So, and he was not even part of that. So what are we saying here? The reaction, and that's what I've been trying to track. Okay, fine, it's here, it's a joke, you can dismiss it. But why are they not talking about it? It's not a lightweight, because when the Western attempt to denounce it on the Western wing collapsed, Mount Kenya team are also quiet. And the only leaders that have spoken about it is Mutahi Kahiga, who is just a governor in Nyeri, do not have a role in the National Assembly. We also have Wamatinga, who is the Nyeri senator and Mukurweini member of parliament. In short, it's only the Nyeri caucus members, leaders from Nyeri, that have come out to respond. Another political observation that many were making was that UDA Ricky G was supposed to lead campaigns in Elgeyo Marakwet, Garissa, and Kandara to campaign in the coming by-elections on behalf of the president. That did not happen, and instead, respective cabinet members and other members of senior members, ranking members of UDA were actually dispersed in those areas. And this was a very emotive thing. Not even Rift Valley MPs have come out to talk, to dismiss, and denounce that impeachment scare. It has remained a discussion that people are talking about. Now, I want you to look at this. Rigathi Gachagua was not sitting pretty comfortable. I want to tell you, he's not sitting pretty comfortable. And the reason why you could even say that even at the mountain, there is some fallout. I want you to look at this video. Now, this is a video and I've been trying. I was supposed to analyze it in some video, but I decided to keep it. So I will also tell you. This video, Ndindi Nyoro mobilized crowds. Remember that if you look at that crowd, that is not a crowd that someone can pull in a constituency. That's a mobilized crowd of people who are ferried to be brought there. And technically, I've made an observation that some, especially the one for Kandara, there have been an approach that some people are a bit uncomfortable with the state of affairs and are also trying to eclipse Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, they're just testing their political might. This is Ndindi Nyoro for you. That is a crowd that was mobilized to campaign. And remember, the area member of parliament, the person who got that seat, who was in that seat, was Alice Wahome. So Alice Wahome never campaigned. She didn't go to campaign in Kandara. In fact, the only person who was dispatched is Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro doesn't come from Kahara, he comes from Kiharu. But of course, because of the larger political ambition, he's doing that. So there are key aspects. I was just showing that video to show you that things are not just pretty comfortable, the state of affairs. Mount Kenya caucus are not in it. The question, the bold question that everyone else is saying is asking this. Is William Ruto getting rid of Rigathi Gachagua ahead of 2027? I know it's a question that many don't want us to ask. But is William Ruto becoming uncomfortable with Rigidi? If you refer to the Bumula statement, he's saying, and I've said that many things are playing a play. And if that is to happen, Do Kalonzo is also threatening a walkout from Azimio? Can it present a merger between Kalonzo and disgruntled Rigathi? And if Ruto is uncomfortable with Rigathi, then who is next? Or who will benefit from that? Most probably it will be Rigiji. It will be Mudavadi. But I don't think, one thing I've always said is Rigiji is a finisher. And if you try to get rid of him, you really lose a chunk of the western, of the central vote. Whether it is Nyeri, some few, but he has also had, and he is known how to play the victim card successfully. So it's not a pushover, because even if you are to subject, already regarding Gachagua as a deputy president, if you are to subject the candidature of the presidency and the deputy to the delegates, there's no way someone who was already a deputy president can be demoted to become even a minister. Or when another person is picked as the deputy president. So what happens? What happens to Rigiji 2027? Or you simply kick him out of UDA. So whether Ruto likes it or not, he had chosen Rigathi, and this one doesn't have a reverse gear. Be it in 2027 context, this one doesn't have a reverse gear. Yes, it doesn't have a reverse gear, so the choice was made. The biggest challenge Rigathi Gachagua is facing is that he has created enmity with the rest of the country by worshipping and trying to clamp his political clout to Mount Kenya politics. He's only thinking about his Mount Kenya friends. And I've always said, it's not about Mount Kenya voters. He's actually lobbying for his Mount Kenya friends. Three things that are at stake, if you ask me, with this impeachment thing. Number one, Rigathi's enemy is a quest to be Mount Kenya kingpin. That is the biggest enemy. And I can tell you that other leaders that are also eyeing that position will easily not come out to protect him as a semi-god when such discussions of impeachment come. The reason why Mount Kenya UDA team are silent are because they don't want to make him a point of discussion in the area. Even though they know they may not support. In fact, they will not support an impeachment, because that will even create a backlash back in the voters and create a lot of disruption. But they're not comfortable, whether it's their own volition or creation of William Ruto, to make sure that they are not comfortable going to tell the people about how they need to protect Rigiji. There's been that issue of homeboy mentality that we protect our own. That is not there. And this is a clear message that Rigiji should get. William Ruto is on top of everything. I'm telling you, William Ruto is on top of everything. So if you normally believe you have a host of some few leaders, it's not it. Second thing, Rigathi Gachagua, when he was given that DP position, he's on record saying that William Ruto is a good man, and so they never negotiated for anything. I have a feeling that he might have negotiated for his own stake. And this could be the immunity, and why this is why these cases have been dropped. And just those cases getting dropped, that will be it. At the campaign tool, if you remember, the most emotive factor that the deputy president ever spoke about was the fact that he was harassed by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And even after sworn in, he came out and said, no, the people who harassed us are now saluting to us. So I think the need for immunity and consolidating his wealth and resources was at the table prior to everything. Even though other people also say that they did not know they were going to win. So the win came as a shocker. That's why even implementation of the plan is not still consistent. Ruto might dent the image of DP and expose that position. In fact, the DP should be very careful, because he is with a man who knows the politics of manipulation. I can tell you. Ruto successfully used Rigiji and go back to the people and say we've not achieved because Rigiji was doing this and that. So it's technical. I have just come to say that the issue about the impeachment, it's not about it, but it's about that narrative. That narrative was live, and there were actually people behind it. That's my take.